My name is Brenda Spitzer, and I'm a forest therapy guide. I was certified by the Association of Nature Forest Therapy Guides and Programs. And for the purpose of our talk here today, I will henceforth refer to them as either the Association or ANFT. I have been guiding forest therapy walks at the Morton Arboretum for the past 3 years. I'm also a member of the Conservation Foundation and a native plant enthusiast. I have certificates in botanical art and illustration and natural history from the Morton Arboretum. I also have a certificate in sustainable landscapes from College of DuPage and a bachelor's of art in art from Northern Illinois University. So what is forest therapy? It's a research-based framework for supporting healing and wellness through immersion in forests and other natural environments. In Japan, it is called Shinjin Yoku, which translates to forest bathing. Studies have demonstrated a wide array of health benefits, including benefits to our cardiovascular and immune systems, and benefits to stabilizing and improving mood and cognition. A little history about my journey to become a certified forest therapy guide. Over the past 24 years, I've enjoyed many different roles at the Morton Arboretum. I've been a member, a student, an employee at the Visitor Center. I've been a volunteer, and now a forest therapy guide. I can still remember my first visit to the Arboretum 24 years ago. I just made a cross-country move to this area with my family, and I can just remember how I immediately felt at home and welcome, really from the moment I pulled into the gatehouse. I then soon discovered the Arboretum's wonderful education program, and I signed up for classes in gardening and natural history and botanical art. And over the years, the Arboretum truly has educated and inspired me during each season and with each visit. 10 years ago, I also became a trail patrol volunteer. And this gave me a valid reason and a happy opportunity to be out in nature for extended periods of time without feeling guilty because I was doing something. After a trail patrol shift, I just noticed that I felt more centered and relaxed and oftentimes more creative. And I also started to feel more connected to the land. And this inspired me to want to learn ways to better manage and care for my own yard, my own land. So I enrolled in classes in sustainable landscapes at College of DuPage. And while taking these classes, I learned about the concept of biophilia, or the affinity that we humans have for nature and other life forms. It was during this discussion of biophilias that I heard for the very first time about the practice of forest therapy. It's a really good way to connect with nature. In my classes, I also learned the best ways to connect with and care for my own land. And after taking Jim Kleinwalter's class, Landscaping for Wildlife, I was inspired to improve my own backyard by adding a rain garden of native plants, a rain barrel, a compost turner. And I'm proud to say that my landscape transformation earned our home a Conservation at Home sign from the Conservation Foundation. And since then, many of my neighbors have added native plants to their landscapes. And the park district of the town in which I live has also added native plants to a small area of a park behind my house that used to be a marsh. And I like to think that together, my community is honoring and caring for nature and our land. After earning my Sustainable Landscape Certificate from College of DuPage in 2015, I noticed that a forest therapy guide training workshop was being offered at the Arboretum. And I knew that attending this workshop just had to be the next step of my journey. I wanted to learn to guide others to slow down, connect with the land, and discover the transformative and healing powers of nature. So I did attend this workshop, and I then completed a 6-month practicum and became a certified forest therapy guide in January of 2016. I actually started guiding walks at the Morton Arboretum during my practicum, and for these walks, I recruited some very kind and willing family, friends, and Arboretum volunteers. And once I was certified, I established the Nature RX Forest Therapy Walk Program for the Morton Arboretum. And since then, I've guided around 100 walks, and I think we've had close to 1,000 participants on our walks. In 2017, I had the happy opportunity to assist at the second Forest Therapy Guide Training Workshop at the Morton Arboretum. Many new forest therapy guides from this workshop have now been certified, and many of them live in the Chicago area. So I'm sure that you're going to be seeing a lot of new forest therapy walks offered in 2018 throughout the Chicago area. In addition to guiding walks at the Morton Arboretum, I also guide walks for Western DuPage Special Recreation Association. And this is a group called Rec and Roll that I've been working with for the past 3 years. And according to their leaders, they've experienced so many benefits from the walk, and I really enjoy spending time with them. I also guide regular walks for my community homeschool group, which I'm a part with my granddaughter. And I also guide walks one-on-one with my grandchildren. These are my granddaughters. We have Autumn, Chloe, Leona, and Amber. And when we're on our walks, we call them adventures. And I really love our adventures because I always let the children guide me. And I learn so much from them each time. I often come up with ideas for invitations for my walks from my time spent with them. So again, what is forest therapy? As I mentioned at the beginning, it is referred to as shinjin-yoku, or forest bathing. And in this slide, this shows the Japanese characters that are used to write forest bathing. It is not about getting wet, however. The idea of forest therapy is to fully immerse yourself in your natural surroundings and just bathe your senses. The objective of a forest therapy walk is to give participants an opportunity to take a break from the stresses of daily life, to slow down and appreciate things that can only be noticed when moving slowly. The key of forest therapy is not to cover a lot of miles, but to walk through nature with intention and just take it all in. It gives us a chance to engage all of our senses and just be in nature. For many thousands of years, up until the Industrial Revolution, we humans spent most of our time out of doors. We were connected to nature. We evolved out of forest, and there's still something really deep inside of us that has a sense of recognition of forest. We seem to be wired for it. We are optimized for forest environments. Humans need now more than ever to connect with nature. Richard Root states in his book, The Nature Principle, the more connected to technology we become, the more nature we need to achieve a natural balance. In Japan, Shinjin-yoku became a public health initiative in the early 1980s. It was based on the principle that spending the time in the forest was beneficial to health. Scientific studies were then done in Japan to study the effects of walking in urban versus forest environments. Through these studies, it was found that properties of the forest, such as phytoncides, oxygen-rich clean air, sunlight, sounds, fragrances, forest textures, movement, and optimal color mix all had positive physiological effects. Phytoncides are what give the forest its special aroma. They are antimicrobial organic compounds given off by trees and plants. When we are in the forest, Breathing in these phytoncides reduces our stress level. The trees also give us fresh oxygen, and we in turn give our trees much needed carbon dioxide. Other properties are sunlight, noticing the patterns of light and shade, sounds, fragrances, various forests and natural textures. Movement could be the movement of trees in the breeze. It could be the movement of a critter that you come across when you're out on the trail. And also optimal color mix. This can be found in the forest, also on the prairie, and anywhere in nature. So what are the physiological effects of slow, relaxed walks in the forest and other natural settings? Physiological indicators of reduced stress can be reduced blood pressure, reduced cortisol levels, and improved heart rate variability. A walk in the woods can also increase our sense of well-being. Relaxation can have a positive impact on depression and leave us calm, focused, and creative. The goal is not so much to heal those who are sick as to create bodies that don't get sick as easily. This is a quote from Dr. Miyazaki, who has also done some research in Japan, and it has also been found that a walk in the woods can increase our count of NK, or natural killer cells. And these are a type of white blood cell that fights infected or tumor cells. So basically, a walk in the woods can give our immune system a boost. ANFT was founded by Amos Clifford in 2012. He had a vision to create a global network of forest therapy guides. And indeed, to date, the association has trained more than 300 guides from 18 countries across 5 continents. And this shows an example of our guide locator map. This map is available on the website of the association. And basically, you click on the area where you live, you can zoom in and find the closest guides or walks to where you live. A forest therapy guide works in partnership with nature, with the more than human world. ANFT does not train therapists, we train guides. The guide opens the door to the forest and the healing properties of the forest. And the forest is the therapist. Our bodies have an incredible capacity for self-healing. So what does a forest therapy walk look like? A standard walk is 3 hours in length and covers 1/4 to 1/2 mile on an easy and gentle terrain. To begin our walk, I always guide my participants to be here, not there, to put aside their agendas and their to-do lists, to disconnect from their devices and just be present in the here and now. I then guide them to use each of their senses to connect with the natural environment around us. In this way, they develop a felt sense of presence. As we move slowly along the trail, I offer a series of invitations, which are simply suggestions of ways to use our senses to connect with nature. For example, we could notice the feel, the sound, the movement of water. Perhaps light dancing through the trees, the branches moving, the leaves rustling. Maybe the crunch of leaves underfoot. And notice the fragrance and the texture of moss, fungi, lichens. particularly strong fragrance, beautiful fragrance to notice is on a rainy day if you're near a tree, the fragrance of bark and moss and lichens. It's incredible. We might notice the texture of a spring bud with its fragrance. Or perhaps bark feeling. One of my favorite invitations is called Zoom. And for this invitation, participants are each given a magnifying glass and invited to just zoom in on the details of nature along the trail. Many participants have told me that as they slow down, they notice more details as though they're seeing some things for the very first time. Periodically along the trail, we will stop and share what we're noticing. Sharing is always optional. But when we do share, it expands everyone's awareness a little bit more. And during each walk, I always invite participants to find a spot to which they feel drawn. A spot where they can spend some time sitting or wandering and just taking in the ephemeral moment, using all of their senses. Sometimes participants use this time to sketch or to journal, and sometimes they create ephemeral art in the forest. And here's some examples of some of the artwork that's been created on my walks. And this artwork is created with materials that participants simply gather at their spots. So leaf quilt, sculpture. And we always conclude our walks with Shinjin-yoku tea. Now this is tea that is made from suitable edible plants that I forage along the trail as we walk. Here's a shot of tea ceremony during my training in 2015 with some members of my cohort and Amos Clifford himself. I have loved having the opportunity to guide others as they use their senses to connect with nature. It's rewarding to see participants realize that it's really okay to just slow down and take some time for themselves and be fully present in the moment. Often participants have made comments like, it was fun to see through the eyes of a child again and just feel playful. Here's an example of us being playful on one of my winter walks. So we do offer walks all year long. And here we are blowing bubbles and watching them freeze in midair. Gotta try it. And even though I walked this trail many times before, I noticed so many details that I had never noticed before. And on this invitation, we're noticing the sparkles on a sunny, frosty morning. Or, starting out, 3 hours seemed like such a long time to commit to a walk, but the time went by so quickly. If you're interested in attending a forest therapy walk at the Morton Arboretum, please just visit mortonarb.org, and you'll click on the Learn and Experience tab on that top banner and scroll down to the wellness offerings. And on that page, you'll get to see all the various wellness classes that are offered at the Arboretum. And you can click on Forest Therapy Walk, and we'll guide you to this page. And on this page, my current walks are always listed. And right now, we're featuring our winter walks, and soon the spring walks will be added as well. And we do have many more new guides, as I said now, so I'm sure our program is going to be expanding a lot in 2018. If you're interested in becoming a forest therapy guide, here's a list of locations and dates for our upcoming guide training workshops. And we do hold them all over the world. Our workshop in Costa Rica was just completed, and I do believe we have a couple of more Chicago guides that are training at that workshop, and they'll be in their practicum when they return. And you can find this list on the association's website. Are there any questions?
How did you make the tea out on did you make it on the wall?
I do, yes. I bring boiling water in a thermos and collect the tea suitable plants as we go along. And I then just put that into my teapot and pour the boiling water over it and let it steep